What is your most controversial cooking opinion? Meal prep is just eating leftovers all week. Red onions should be called purple onions. That is 100% true. In Spanish they are called cebolla morada, purple onion. That's what my mother-in-law calls me. You should shower more often. Message works. It's what makes Doritos and other salty snacks so tasty. Most people that claim to be sensitive to message will readily admit to eating these and not having any issues. It's also on basically all fast food chicken. It is ducking great and not some health toxin poison that everyone thought in the 90s. That was some bullshit. They also told us that bread was the bottom of the food pyramid and should be the majority of what you eat in the 90s. Simpler carbohydrates, simpler times. Not all moms or grandmas are amazing cooks. Yes, my mom has some good dishes she makes, but nuking Brussels sprouts in the microwave with orange marmalade is not one of them. Edit, thanks for the awards everyone. My mother-in-law is a lovely woman. Terrible cook. I'm glad she's in Manhattan because it's a good excuse to go out ordering when we visit. Yeah. Every time my wife fries a steak it's dark brown on the outside and medium rare on the inside. Perfection. Every time her mother cooks a steak it ends up gray all the way through. Awful. This is a safe space, but I'll be honest, some of these are really hard to upvote. This is what I asked for, but I am suffering with my newfound knowledge of how you heathens cook. In a pinch, you can sub plain yogurt for all kinds of liquids. I'm on my 5th yogurt on the rocks and am not even buzzed yet. Pinch harder. How much harder? My nipples are numb already. When they're smoking it's perfect. Turn up the electricity. I cook better than my wife. Trust me, it's very controversial. Not controversial. I cook better than your wife too. I also outcook this guy's wife. The cream cheese-based crock-pot dinners are the modern equivalent of Jell-O-based dinners from the 50s. Cream cheese crock-pot dinners? Can you elaborate? I have to agree with you, even though I don't know what you're talking about. How to say pecan? I swear my family has gone to war over which way to pronounce it. If the dish does not otherwise require the use of hands, there should not be trails on your shrimp. I don't want to be fishing around in my damn pasta because you couldn't be bothered to remove the tails first. I hate this shit so much. That being said, I've heard they can enhance the flavor during cooking and can technically be eaten, but no and also no. That's why I cook the shrimp in the shells before anything else, put them to the side, to shell them, and use the same pan to start cooking the rest of the dish. Also, one can ferry the raw peeled shells, add aromatics, water, simmer for a while and get the most delicious base stock for sauce or soup. Presentation barely matters to me. I've had many delicious scoops of slop. Edit, I love that this is blowing up. I didn't even have to specify what kind of slop, everybody has their examples that apply. I am vegetarian. Most restaurants should just stop serving vegetarian dishes if they can't be bothered to make something that tastes good. You cannot just put kale, quinoa, some random veg, and a vinaigrette in a bowl and charge $25. They need to take a page from some Indian cookbooks and adapt. Even Mexican food. There's so many vegetal proteins and a lot of Mexican or Mexican-inspired dishes that you don't even have to think about it. Or Mediterranean food. So many tasteful, pure vegetarian recipes, developed by people too poor to eat meat. Bro, don't get me started on Lebanese food. My fave restaurant here closed and I've been in mourning ever since. Some food tastes better a little bit burnt. Corn is a good example. A bit burned on the grill, it's still good. Absolute heaven to eat slightly burned corn on the cob from a grill. Growing up, my Hispanic family would only shuck corn until the last 2 layers. Throw that on the grill and you get a perfect charred outside and perfect inside. Nature gave us the best way to make corn and people still wrap it in tinfoil. The meth does not have to be blue to be pure. The blue actually denotes an impurity. Source: partner is a chemistry PhD. I'm sure this is true, but BB explained that old Walt was using his own Nobel Prize-worthy method with a university-level lab, with the end product being different to the norm but more pure. Just storytelling coolness. Crock pot liners feel like you're just asking for cancer. Crock pots don't even take long to clean, and that's generally the only thing other than plates utensils that'll need to be cleaned after you eat. You're only saving yourself a couple of minutes. My best friend has disposable everything, and it ducking drives me bonkers. Heating up leftover chicken and dumping it into a bowl of ramen noodles counts as a proper meal. I am fully prepared to die on this hill. Adding an egg or two to ramen when you have no leftover meat is also a proper meal. An egg, a little sesame oil, and a little powdered nori significantly improves even the cheapest packaged ramen. Fried egg, sesame oil, and furikake or nori on jasmine rice is also a meal. Use what you have on hand. Trust yourself to make it work. Looks at chocolate and chicken. Molem. As a lifelong carnivore, I will say that if tofu is cooked properly, it is absolutely delicious. I would even go so far as to say I prefer it in certain dishes over animal protein. Pad Thai. Tofu pad Thai can ducking get it. It's so good. There's no such thing as breakfast food. You can eat a steak in the morning and fry an egg for dinner if you want, it's just food. You can dislike a food simply for its texture, nothing to do with its taste. I don't mind the taste of baked beans, but I hate how slimy they are, and don't even get me started on when they're cold. I had COVID a few months ago. I've only regained about half of my taste and smell. Texture matters way more than it used to. Most pizza companies do not know how to do salted caramel. Every salted caramel product I've had, homemade or otherwise, has been like mouth-puckeringly salty. The point is to lightly salt it to bring out the more subtle flavors, not literally make salty caramel. Or when it's just regular caramel with huge chunks of salt on top. I'd argue that my controversial opinion is only controversial in Italy, where I come from. I like making chicken with pasta. I make it into a sauce similar to bolognese, but I'll put small chicken bits instead of the mince. My family call me a savage for eating such things together, but my boyfriend suggested me as an idea, and it's now a dish I enjoy. I'm sure there are people in other parts of Italy that would welcome your weird chicken pasta. It's not totally food homogeneous. My nonna and mum were outraged when I served them lasagna with chamel in it because we are southern, and apparently that's a northern thing. Sorry that your southern lasagna is dry, mum. Don't take it out on my good lasagna. Go find your food, people. Mile-high burgers and hot dogs with so many toppings you can no longer taste the meat are awful, and a pain in the ass to eat. I generally eat burgers and hot dogs because I like the flavor of the meat. I realize meat is a questionable term when it comes to hot dogs, and would like to actually taste them. I believe that you can teach yourself to like or tolerate certain foods if you want to. I sort of forced myself to like peas until one day I found I actually do like them. Same with scotch, smelly cheese, cigarettes and wasabi. I'd like that recipe for cigarettes and wasabi, please. 1 pack cigarettes, 1 pack wasabi, shake it up in a bag and chuck that sucker in the microwave, nuke for a solid 5 minutes on high and go reevaluate your life. I've done the final egg coating on apple pies with a makeup brush more times than I'd like to admit. Used makeup brush? 'Cause that kind of changes things. How else are you going to get the perfect golden brown crust? And the contouring. I hate burgers that are too damn tall to eat properly. I make my mashed potatoes using a pastry cutter. You don't burn your knuckles?